seem to be moving along pretty well. But I thought this was wonderfully representative because it's from different regions of the world. It's companies that are at different stages. And maybe we can just start by having everybody introduce themselves, describe a little bit about what they're doing. And then we can sort of have a discussion about what's been easy, what's been hard, how can government policy, like the U.S. government policy, help in advancing some of these issues? How can other countries' governments, because we have 20 representatives from other governments participating in this summit, how should they think about encouraging entrepreneurship? And then most importantly, how can other businesses and venture capital, et cetera, think about some of these international opportunities? So Mai, why don't we start with you and tell us, I was hearing some of the great work you're doing. Tell us more about it.
Thank you. It's so great to be here. I'm a software engineer. I have an engineering background. One day I heard that the first startup weekend is happening in Cairo, and I was not invited.
As we started, it has been 2 years, and we have employed more than 25 people, giving them permanent jobs, and we are trying to expand to other areas of the country so that we can continue to improve sanitation, as well as providing this kind of alternative fuels which can improve health and mitigate climate change in the country and Africa in general.
So I did Laboratoria. We are a social enterprise, and I started it in Peru 2 years ago. We are now in Peru, in Chile, and Mexico. And what we try to do is to go out and find talent where nobody else is looking for it. So we try to identify young women who haven't been able to access quality education or job opportunities because of economic limitations, and train them to become the most awesome web developers they can be and connect them with employment opportunities in the tech sector.
That's strange. I had been reading about this, and I said 60% of the women who have gone through this program now were employed, and I was corrected, it's now 70%. I had old data, but I think it's important to point out your success rate has been quite extraordinary already. So it's wonderful. Mark, when there was a time when you were sort of in their shoes, but now obviously Facebook's success has been extraordinary. But I'm sure that you still can connect with the stories that are told here and some of the stories out there. How's Facebook thinking about its own role in creating this platform for entrepreneurship around the world? I know that's something you've been thinking a lot about.
Well, it's really inspiring to be here with so many great entrepreneurs. And to hear about all the work that you're doing, it's an honor. So thanks for having me. To me, entrepreneurship is about creating change, not just creating companies. And the most effective entrepreneurs who I've met care deeply about some mission and some change that they're trying to create, and often they don't even start because they're trying to create a company, right? And that's how I think about my connection to all of us here is when I was getting started, I cared deeply about giving everyone a voice, right? And giving people the tools to share everything that they cared about and bring a community together. And it started small and in one university, and I didn't think it was going to be a company at the time. As a matter of fact, I was pretty convinced that at some point someone would build something like this for the world, but I thought that would be some other company that already had thousands of engineers and was used to building stuff for hundreds of millions of people around the world. And what ended up happening was that no one built it, right? So we just kind of kept on going, right? I mean, people said it each step along the way. What you're doing, all right, maybe college students like it, but no one else is going to like it. And there's not going to be any money in doing this. So, all right, so you only really do it if you care, right? If you're passionate about doing it. And then it started growing, and people said it would be a fad and it would never be a good business. But you keep going because you care, not because you're trying to create a business. Equal opportunity to be able to create a change in the world, and I think that's a really hard thing to do if you don't have access to some of the basic infrastructure and technical tools that are necessary to build this kind of technical products. So, I kind of think about what we're doing today very similarly to how I thought about where we were at the beginning. I get people all the time who come to me and say, all right, well, you're investing billions of dollars in trying to put internet connectivity in places where we don't get paid for it. It's not something that we'll make any money from for a very long period of time if it works out. But it's this deep belief that you're trying to make a change, you're trying to connect people in the world, and I really do believe that if you do something good and if you help people out, then eventually some portion of that good will come back to you. And you may not know up front what it's going to be, but that's just been the guiding principle for me in the work that we've done. And I hope that some of the work that we do can play a role in empowering you and so many more entrepreneurs to build the next great companies.
So for the three budding entrepreneurs, you've already had some success and positive feedback, but I know that it's still hard sometimes and frustrating. Let's go back to the earlier question that I asked.